saw 4 films, 1 documentary, was excellent, and then 3 dramas. The one that really I'll talk about is Mass, and the head of the film festival introduced it, Tabitha. She was really proud of it, and it was filmed in my old hometown, and it was filmed in Idaho, in Haley, which is a town near Sun Valley. What was so cool about it is that it really was a very low budget film because it takes place in one room in a church. And it had great actors, Reed Birney, Ann Dowd, Martha Plimpton, and Jason Isaacs. And the premise of the film is these two couples meet because one couple's child did a mass murdering at a school, and their son was one of the deceased. And they go through a therapy session in how to deal. And it was very profound. And for a film in one spot, the dialogue was great. The editing was great. The director, Franz, I really applaud him. It's why you go to Sundance, to see people really push the limits of dialogue and acting and editing and the post-production of it, because it could have gone a totally different way. And also a subject that is still out there, even in a pandemic. You're still thinking about these things. And I was really proud of Tabitha to pick a film like that she really loved. And so that, I give it like an 8 or 9 just because it's dark. It stays dark. And it's not a subject that everybody would really want to know about if they're not involved in it in somehow, or they're not related to it, because not everybody's life has that in it. So it might go both ways, But yeah, it was.
It's about a controversial subject, but does the film feel controversial in and of itself?
No, it felt like it covered every aspect of it in a way that if you didn't read anything about the film and you just went to see it, you are in it because you're like, what are they talking about? Wait, what happened? What's going on? Like what? And so it kept you going. And I love that because it was, like I said, it was in one room the whole time. And it kept your attention. And the actors really pushed themselves, which was great.
Yeah. Awesome. So, so what did you rate it? Did you tell us already? Or?
I'm like between an 8 and a 9 on it.
Well, you can go 8.5. That's fine.
8.5, 8.5.
All right. Cool. Any questions? Or
yeah,
I really liked Mass. I mean, that's just my kind of movie. I mean, it was like stone cold bummer, but really well acted. Yeah, I really liked it. I was that
surprised.
Yeah, that one shook me.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way you describe it, it sounds like a very heavy movie, and that may turn people off. Not saying it will turn me off, but
right. Yeah, if you're not a film geek, it may not be your cup of tea. But
and
again,
it's not preachy about the subject matter. It's conversational, and it's a conversation that should be happening, and that's what's really good about it. Walks that line.
Yeah. Normie,
question: Did Ann Dowd suddenly have like a third act reveal where she was evil? Because you should never trust Ann Dowd ever in a film.
She has that. She's got that. It's intrinsic attitude about her, and I think that's why she was casted, because she's the mother of the murderer, and part of and I don't want to be a spoiler here, but you have to get to the nitty gritty in order to get the film to finish, if you know what I mean. And that third act, she came through in an opposite way, actually. Don't you think, Matt? Like,
yeah,
right at the end, she's like, I want to hear a story.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, this has got more to go. There could have been like 4 endings to this film, don't you think?
Yeah, I was like, why isn't this movie ending? But then and normally that would kind of irritate me, but then what you're talking about happens. I'm like, oh no, that was necessary.
Yeah, and she really took it home. She did.
So this is scripted. It's not improvised at all, or.
Who knows? There might have been a little. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, there's improvisation happens a lot, but for the most part, it's a fairly structured and scripted movie.
Yeah.
I would say yeah.
Yeah. I could see some improvisation happening because of how well the actors were working off each other. This could have taken place on a stage.
Oh yeah,
easily.
What was the runtime on it? How long did it go?
I think 90 minutes, maybe 80 to 90.
The first one was like an hour 50, if I remember.
Yeah,
it wasn't 2 hours, but
under.
Yeah.
So if you're in one room and you can keep everyone's attention for that long, that's good.
That was my thoughts exactly. And that I knew everyone on the crew when I looked in the credits. It's a very tiny town, and I was like, "Wow, they did a good job." I didn't know they had it in them.
I've seen a few thrillers and horror movies at Sundance. I think Mass is probably the tensest movie I've seen.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.